Hello and welcome to Randoms. It's another beautiful Tuesday to have random discussion on trending topics making headlines on the internet. Of course, I am your host, Sharon Ajay, and always with me is... Of course. Ogochukwu, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you so much.
You always look fantabulous, you know.
Oh, really? Thank you. I'll take this.
Of course. Let's delve right into what we have for today. I'm going to read a statement that was posted online by a certain woman. She says, "My husband has been out of job for a while now and he's always at home. I run a physical business and have staff. My secretary resigned and I have been looking for someone to employ as a secretary since she left." Now, this is the question. Is it okay to employ my husband to do the job till when he gets back on his feet? That's the post by a certain woman on, on the internet. Well, before we dive into a proper conversation and discussion about this, Ogochukwu will be taking us through comments of various Nigerians, their opinions on this question that was asked by a certain woman. Ogochukwu, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sharon. So definitely we have online commenters who always have something to say, and these comments are coming from X, formerly Twitter. And the first commenter here is Ikenna Ibukun Joseph says, "This takes a very intelligent woman to make her husband help her out till she finds a replacement. Telling you want to employ him is an insult." Telling that you want to employ him, I guess that's what he wants to say, is an insult. Well, if that is the way he sees it, if you say telling him is an insult, which I don't think so, because I think maybe she's trying to get consent from, her husband. So the next commenter is coming from Ijoma Christopher. Ijoma Christopher says, "No triamo. He will know all your income and is not good. Though I don't really know your husband, but hope you understand what I mean. It will be better you give him money to start up a business for himself or look for another job for him." But then what if this anonymous woman actually do not have money to set up a business for her husband? We have to look at it from different angles.
Exactly.
What if this job is only the job she has at the time and she feels like, I don't want my husband staying back at home. I don't want the fact that he's idle and it makes him look somehow incompetent or can't carry the home. So can I just give him? I think, guys, husband does this to their wife. So to me, Christopher Ijoma, I don't see any problem with, letting your husband know your income and all of that. Anyway, the next commenter is Daisy Zamwekpere Chibweze, and Daisy says, "He can only assist you at his will for now, depending when you employed new secretary, but employing him is a big no." Wow, Daisy is a big no. Well, we'll have to find out soon. Okay, the next commenter is Valentine Prince Will. Valentine says, "How will he get on his feet when he's your secretary and confined in one environment? Don't try it. You want to belittle the man, except he's the one bringing the suggestions." Okay? All right. Johnson Olaya Oni is the next, and he says, "Have a good discussion with him about it and see his reactions to it. Don't be pushful about it. Be logical, please." And the last commenter, but not the least, from Uwana Treasure Mine Prince says, "Let him be the one to make such suggestions to you," just like the last commenter. He said, "It could be a blessing when couple build a business together. Such flourishes, but it can also bring you down, your downfall if you married a wicked man. Nonetheless, be wise and pay attention to details." Okay. This is the last comment for the day coming for this story. And honestly, Sharon, to be very honest with you, I think I really respect everybody's opinion concerning this issue. But then if you ask me again, I will also say that I don't see a problem with a woman trying to offer her husband a job in her organization or wherever she's managing. I think it is out of love and out of care. Sometimes men always see it as oh, she's trying to bring me down, she's trying to confine me to a particular space, and there will be no respect. But I don't get to see it as there will be no respect. I feel like it's out of love. Just the same way, I know women always say, my money is my money and your money is your money. But this time around, she's not saying my business is my business and your business is our business. So it really takes a lot,
yeah,
you know, a lot for a woman to do that. So I really don't want the man or any man out there to feel like it is being belittling, like, or anyone is trying to belittle you or confine you to a particular space, and that is why it is happening. Yeah,
Ogochukwu, you have an amazing opinion concerning that. I totally understand. But my own opinion and what I feel about this issue is totally different. Now, I don't see it as belittling the man.
Okay.
But I also see it is more like a 50-50 for me. I see it as you not respecting the man enough, and I see it as you trying to also help the man. Now, we don't know the kind of organization she's leading. We don't know the kind of organization, how big it is, how established it is, and all of that. But for you to have a secretary, for you to have, you know, other staff, it shows that to an extent it is a functioning kind of organization, you know. Yeah, so I feel making your husband the secretary, it doesn't really tell, you know, it speaks a lot about you. Because everybody, of course, all women, the men they are crowned. I'm not saying that your man should, of course, you should be more, men are superior. Let's just put it that way. I'm not trying to speak to the feminists. You people should stay one place. But when we are going to follow the Bible standard, which I follow, men are superior over women. Now, when I say men, I don't mean literally all men. I mean a woman and her husband. Your husband is superior to you and you are supposed to be submissive to your husband and all of that. Making your husband the secretary while you are still the CEO of that organization is in a way belittling the man. In as much as you want to help him, that is not the right way to go about it. It shows that the man is going to be answerable to you. It's not a problem if your man is answerable to you. But that position is not befitting. Now, if we're talking about the position of an MD or a GM while you are the CEO, that's a good position. But you can't tell me in an organization like that you don't have a GM or the MD, you know, position while you are the CEO. And
what if the husband doesn't fit into those positions?
Amazing.
You won't say, okay, because he's my husband, so he has to be the MD or he has to be the...
Very true. I think now, this is where wisdom comes in. If your husband doesn't fit in any of this position, maybe he's not that kind of person, the field, whatever you are running, the organization you're running is really not into it, then it's best you put him out of whatever you are doing. You can as well let everybody know, this is my husband. From time to time, we would come to check the organization, check the runnings of the organization.
Okay, like a supervisor.
You mustn't put a title to his name. But making him sit as a secretary, I don't know, maybe people do not understand the meaning of secretary. Or maybe she doesn't understand what it means to be a secretary. You're literally under the boss. You get to run errands for the boss. And you get to run errands for most of your superiors too. So that is the life
I think
you
have
husband.
A lot of this experience. When that is why you're talking about it. But to be very, very honest, I really appreciate your opinion. You know, I get to see from the other light when you said, okay, the husband is the crown and shouldn't, and you feel like it's a bit insulting when she had to give it like secretary, because it feels like it's a very small position.
Yeah, it is,
but really, honestly, to be very honest, let's even look at it from this other perspective. We have secretary to the state government on different matters. We have secretary to, and we don't even get to see secretary as a belittling position. Honestly, I have seen secretaries that, you know, they are big. They ride good cars. They live in good houses. They look very, very healthy. So I don't really get to see it. I think it is the way we have projected secretary to be.
We are not talking about Palm Circle. If it's Palm Circle, we are talking about, even the man will not reject it. We're talking about a secretary of an organization that is not even well known. When we talk about secretary of maybe a well-known organization, the man would not turn it down. Who is this lady? Nobody knows her. You can as well
go to anonymous.
You can as well go to an organization and you even see that it is a coming up organization. So you expect the man to sit on a chair and do admin work for his wife.
Sharon is not having it this evening. Sharon is not having it at all.
If you don't want to involve your man in your business, then you should as well just put him in, just keep him where he belongs as the husband, And you can just
let him look for a job by himself.
Let him look for a job. Because doing that, it seems like, oh, you're kind, you want to help him. But to me, and maybe to other persons, that is not help. That is, in a way, belittling your man, and you know it. It's a way of belittling your man, because your staff can even come up. Now, when you make the man like head, maybe superior over your staff, they would have this fear that, oh, he's our superior, but you're making him a secretary. Definitely, I want to believe that the structure of how an office is supposed to be, the secretary, is lower than maybe the MD or the GM. So I want to believe that there will be somebody overseeing the organization. And of course, it's not the secretary. So that means your husband is answerable to the secretary. I don't know what you're thinking, woman, but that is not the best way to handle this kind of situation.
Guess what I want to say? Please, job is job. Collect to and make money for yourself. But anyways, these are just our opinions. And of course, you as the person who is in charge, you actually have your opinion about this and you know what you think about it. But then, please do not forget to drop your comments, please. We are taking comments. Do not forget to drop your comments on social media.
Of course, of course. Well, we have another trending conversation to share with you today. But before we go into that, we're going to take a short break. And when we return, we'll go into what we have next for you today. So stay with us.
Get ready for the unpredictable and also unconventional show, Random.
From trending topics to honest conversations and various social media platforms, Randoms have it all.
No topic is off limit, no comment is too weird.
Join me, Sharon Ajay, and my co-host,
Mobno, every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m.
Buckle up and enjoy the Randoms Ride.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is Randoms. Well, there've been a fuss on the internet regarding lots of candidates that failed the recently written JAMB. You know, the weight of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME results recently released by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, must have been heavy on every right-thinking Nigerian. Analysis of the result shows that out of 1,955,069 applicants who took the examination, only 420,000 candidates scored higher than 200. That's a lot by the margin. But by implication, more than 1.5 million did not meet the threshold. Out of the lot, less than 1% of the candidates scored higher than 300 on the test, while 75% of the candidates scored lower than 200 according to the data. The breakdown is indeed disturbing, and of course, that's why I said there's been a huge fuss on the internet regarding this, and lots of persons are asking, what is going on? This is an outrageous amount of students failing the JAMB.
Can we call it mass failure?
Of course, we could tag it as mass failure, because what is going on? You know, it's one thing to say a school has mass failure, but there's another thing to say a lot of schools collated together, there is a mass failure from literally
the country.
Yeah, the country, from JAMB itself, and it's really disturbing. Ogochukwu, what do you have to say?
Honestly, you know, when I saw this news on the internet, I was really disturbed, because it gets to show that a lot of children these days no longer read.
Yeah.
Because, okay, now what is the problem? Most persons said, The problem was because JAMB did not set their usual questions. They had these questions that always come on every year, like past questions, and they kind of repeat those questions in different, maybe different language, different English, put in different sentence and all of that, and they were used to it. People are used to buying past questions and reading it. Nobody goes and do research, further research for themselves, and that's the reason why this failure came about. And again, if I even have to look at it again, I would still say we are all drawn to the internet. The generation these days, everybody's on the internet. Everybody wants to be on social media.
Exactly.
I was saying something. I said, social media is good. The internet is good. Browsing the internet is good. It is like it depends on why you are there. So, are you there to get information? Are you there to educate yourself, or you are just there to relax? And if you check over I don't really have a very good statistic, but if you check, most of the youth these days, the kids these days, they're all there for fun. If you go to the likes of TikTok, Instagram, you get to see they're all content creators right now. You see ages, even 3. They have accounts. Your daughter that is just born yesterday has an account. And when they are 10, you want them to handle their pages, and they start growing their pages. What exactly are you teaching these children? How often do parents actually check their children, check their level of education, and know if they're assimilating? How often do we ask questions? Most parents, they are all, should I say, working class. You go to work, some even short to different jobs, from work, from 9 to 5, they are back to their shops, and, they stay in their shops till maybe night, perhaps 8, 9, 10. Your child is already sleeping. You don't even have time to check on your child or check, okay, how well they are doing in school and all of that. And this whole thing actually put together made this whole failure, because if you have to check your child the way they use the internet, provide the internet, but it should be for educative purpose. What are you using the internet for? Try to check. Don't say, oh, it's like I'm going to disturb the privacy of my child. If you give them that long rope, they will take a longer one.
Exactly.
They used to say if you give children chance, they will take chances. Because they don't know the limit. They don't know where to cut it. They don't know where to
So you
say
just have to
we're
help
ending
them
it.
at that
Yes,
point.
you have to help them. You have to guide them. That's why you are their parents or their guardians. So you don't just leave them. If you provide an internet, make sure that child is using it for school work, doing further research, not just browsing the internet and following trends and dancing to trending TikTok videos and all of that. Want to follow everything happening online. There should be time for all of this. If you have to set something like a timetable. I remember growing up, we have like a timetable. We have time to read, time to have fun with your siblings, time to pray, time to do this. There's time for everything. But these days, I don't think parents do that, because if they do that, then we will not be having this much failures in examinations like JAMB, NECO, WAEC, and the likes of it, honestly. So I think they really have to work. And again, I thought about AI. Most kids now rely, most kids now rely on AI. They are ready to use AI for everything. Nobody reads prints anymore. Nobody goes to bookshop to get printed books, sits down and read prints. Back then, when I was in school, you will read. You don't even have a choice. I remember when my dad comes back from work and he's dropping the newspaper on the desk, and everybody's rushing the newspaper on the table, and you see everybody rushing the newspaper, and you say, okay, when this one finish reading this one, you have 30 minutes to read this one. So, and at the end of the day, we are coming out to say, oh, this is what we learned from the print. This is what we learned from the print. Informative things and educative things, but nobody reads the prints anymore. I know there are e-books online, but how many still buy these books? They can be very expensive, but some are free, but do you even patronize the free ones? So I think the parents and guardians really have a lot to play in the life of these children, and I think that's the reason why it's resulted to a lot of failure. And please, we shouldn't rely on past questions. It's not every time we get to see past questions online. Even when you get to see past questions, to be very honest, just like JAMB did this tricky one, played a tricky one on the people, on the students, there were no past questions, fresh questions. But if you read, you will get it, because these are things that are taught in your school while you are still in school. They were taught in SS1, SS2, SS3. You could be surprised that these things are even from primary school. Little questions like that, and you're like, oh, I forgot. You know that scenario where you forget how to spell ISEs, you know, just because you are not conversant with all of this. So I think we should encourage our students to read, and our parents, the parents and guardians, to please do more on the life of our children.
Ogochukwu, you've said literally everything that it's needed to be said rather, and I really hope and pray that lots of parents take from the advice that Ogochukwu had given free of charge. It's to give it free of charge, really. And I'm super excited and thankful for JAMB for releasing, you know, the amount of students, the number of students that failed JAMB. It shows if you know that your child is part of this, it should be you know, you shouldn't be happy about it. It should be like a shame to you and also to that child. And I would urge universities also. The cutoff mark then was like 180, 200.
I think for state universities it was 180. Then for federal university it was 200 and above.
And I hope it's still that way because
no, it has been reduced.
Oh, it has been
reduced. I think state university now, you know, do 140, but you're at the mercy of the school UTME. Is it UTME they call it?
Post UTME.
Post UTME,
okay,
yes.
Okay.
You're at the mercy of the school post UTME. So if you meet off cutoff mark for the said departments you want to go in, fine. But if you don't.
Exactly, because I feel one of the things that contribute to students not even being studious anymore is the fact that, oh, if I don't pass my JAMB, there's a way I can go into private university. And, you know, all of that, that can really, you know, just make a child feel like no matter what I do, I'm getting into the university.
Very true.
And I think that the university, NUC, right, I think that's the body that controls literally all the universities in Nigeria. They should look into that. A cutoff mark must be fixed. If you don't meet that cutoff mark, there is no nook and cranny kind of you're trying to get your way into whatever. If you don't get that cutoff mark, you can't get into school. And really, I think it's something they need to look at. Well, whatever what doing is what doing well. Parents should be encouraged to put in more effort in their education, of their children, of course, from the school they attend to the friends they keep in school and all of that. They should endeavor to go through their lesson notes, check their subject outline, and help guide them through. Encourage reading books. It's important. Ogochukwu has said it. Encourage reading books more than browsing and surfing the internet. We are not saying the internet is bad, of course, but then again, they easily can get carried away by social trends on the internet. So please and please take from this advice that both I and Ogochukwu have given to you. So that's all we have for you today because of time on Randoms. I hope you had a great time. And of course, we'll be bringing you more gist and trending topics. We'll be discussing trending topics as they unfold on the internet. And also do not forget, it's very important that Randoms now air twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at Global TV NG, and also kindly drop your comments on YouTube. You might be lucky one day we get to read your comments. But from I and Ogochukwu, we're saying bye.